Welcome back, playground learners. Today we're going to review whole number operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Below in the description you will see timelines for each operation if you'd like to skip ahead and look at a specific one. Let's get learning. In this table I have outlined the 4 operations, the word associated with those operations, and the symbol or symbols associated with it as well. For addition, you have a plus sign, subtraction, a minus sign, a small horizontal. Multiplication, you have your small x or sometimes even a dot between two numbers. And then division, you have your typical division sign. Sometimes it will be presented as a fraction, and other times it will be presented with a bracket. Let's take a look at adding and subtracting whole numbers first. Sarah made cookies for her school's bake sale. On Friday, she made 24 chocolate chip cookies. On Saturday, she made 44 sugar cookies. And on Sunday, she made 32 peanut butter cookies. How many cookies did Sarah make altogether? In this word problem, the words altogether tell the reader that they will perform addition. So you'll be adding together all of the numbers of cookies or the amounts of cookies she made, starting with 24, then 44, and 32. So when you add them together, how many cookies did she make all together or total? So it's 24 plus 44 plus 32. And I'm going to separate this and make it easier by adding the first two numbers first. 24 plus 44. 4 plus 4 equals 8. And 2 plus 4 equals 6. So you have a sum of 68. Now add 68 to that last batch of cookies, which is 32. 8 plus 2 is 10. Bring over the 1. 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10, giving us 100. Sarah made 100 cookies. Let's look at another problem. We know that Sarah made 24 cookies on Friday, 44 on Saturday, and 32 on Sunday. This question is, how many more cookies did she make on Saturday and Sunday than on Friday? So you're doing a comparison. Here you are going to subtract. But first we need to identify, well, how many did she make total on Saturday and Sunday? And then we will subtract from that total the amount that she made on Friday. So on Saturday and Sunday, she made 44 plus 32. And on Friday, she made 24. So to find out how many she made on Saturday and Sunday first, you add 44 plus 32. 4 plus 2 is 6, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So your sum is 76 total. Now we're going to take away or subtract 24. So 76 minus 24. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 7 minus 2 is 5, giving us our final answer of 52. She made 52 more cookies on Saturday and Sunday combined than she did on Friday. Okay, moving on to multiplying whole numbers. Chris earns $20 for mowing the lawn every week. He is saving his money to purchase a PlayStation gaming system that cost $400. If he saves his money for 17 weeks, will Chris have enough money? Know that Chris earns $20 every week and he's saving for 17 weeks. So we need to find out by multiplication or multiplying, will he have enough money at the end of 17 weeks? So you multiply 20 times 17. Here's another way you can write it. What I'm going to do is long multiplication just to make it easier. So we're going to multiply 20 by 17. 7 times 0 equals 0. 7 times 2 equals 14. Make sure you add the 0 for the second line. 1 times 0 equals 0, and 1 times 2 equals 2. And when you add them together, you get a total of 340. So the answer is no. He does not have enough money because he only has $340, which is $60 short of $400. At this time, if you'd like to pause the video to practice some multiplication on your own and then resume to double check your answers, you may do so. So let's write out the problem as 134 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24, bring over the 2. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20, so you bring down a 0 and over the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus that 2 is 8. Make sure you add that 0. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1. Add them all together to get your final answer of 2,144. Question number 2, 538 times 31. Again, smaller numbers easier on bottom. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 5 is 5. Add that 0. 3 times 8 is 24. Bring over the 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Add them all together. Make sure you're lining up those place values to get your final total of 16,678. Problem is 87 times 24. Okay, 4 times 7, 28. Bring over the 2. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34. Okay, make sure you add that 0. 2 times 7 is 14, bring up the 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. Add them all together, you get 2,088. All right, friends, we're almost done. Let's take a look at division. A farmer picked 128 apples. He wants to bag them equally, keyword, into 8 bags. How many apples will each bag have? Well, he picked 128 and he's dividing them by 8. So let's do our division. Here's a couple of ways to write it out. You could write out your formal division problem, or you could put it in fraction form, 128 being the numerator and 8 being the denominator. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a long division form, so 8 on the outside of the bracket, 128 on the inside. How many times does 8 go into 1? None, right? 0 times. So now I have to look at the number 12. How many times does 8 go into the number 12? 1 time, which is equal to 8. So I'll write a 1 on top, bring the 8 below, subtract it from 12. I have 4. Bring down that 8 from 128. So now my number's 48. How many times does 8 go into 48? 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So I'm going to subtract 48 from 48 to get a 0 at the bottom, which tells me there's no more I can take away or work with. And our final answer is 16 apples per bag. Let's talk about dividing with a remainder. Sometimes you'll divide two numbers and you'll have something left over that you can no longer break down. And I'm going to show you 2 examples of how you would divide and write your remainder. Here is 432 divided by 14. Looking at this problem, 14 cannot go into the number 4, so then we need to look at the number 43. How many times does 14 go into 43? 3 times. 14 times 3 equals 42, so you'll subtract 42, giving you a 1. Bring down that 2, giving you 12 as your remainder. Because 14 can't go into 12, you need to add a 0 in the ones place of your answer, and we're going to write our remainder as a fraction. Your remainder is going to be your numerator, and your denominator will be your divisor. So you would write it as 12 over 14. But we don't stop there because now we have to simplify our fraction. So I'm going to rewrite it as 12 over 14 down in the corner and decide what number goes into both 12 and 14. And then I will divide them by that. So for this example, it's 2. 2 goes into both 12 and 14, and when you divide, you get your final fraction of 6 over 7. There is no number that goes both into 6 and to 7 other than 1. So your final answer is going to be 30 and 6/7. Okay, last one. If you want to pause the video now, please do so and then resume to double check your answer. To write this fraction in long division form, you would put 22 on the outside of the bracket and 1,420 on the inside. Does 22 go into 1? No. What about 14? No. So now you have to look at the number 142. And to do this, you can just practice multiplication by timesing it by 2, 3, 4, 5, and use estimation to get to the closest answer the quickest. For this one, it is 6. 22 times 6 is 132. You subtract that number and get a leftover of 10. Bring down your 8, and you have 108. How many times does 22 go into 108? 4 times, 88. Subtract 88 from 108 to get an answer of 20. How many times does 22 go into 20? It can't. So 20 is your remainder. 64 are 20. 64 remainder 20. That's it for this week's mini lesson on whole number operations. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Until next time.